Today is February the 21st, 2025, and it is Friday night. And instead of me bringing you a project along the way, tonight I have a special guest, my writer, my friend LeAnne from Mennonite Farmhouse. We're going to do a little sit and chat tonight. And so she gets pushed out to all my subscribers, and you will get to learn a little bit about the behind the scenes with her and her channel. So if you've not already checked her channel out, I'm humbly asking you to please go over, see what she's got to offer. Her channel is really a lot of fun, and it's everything from quilting to canning to cooking. The sky's the limit. The girl can do it all. So, welcome, LeAnne. Thanks
Well,
for joining.
thanks for asking me to come. Let's get the party started.
Absolutely. Let me slip into the chat real quick and we'll welcome everyone and then we'll get to our chat. Guess who, Nancy? Hello, sweetheart. Day is in the house. Hey, sweetie, and thanks for coming. Teresa Lynch is in the house. Katie D. Crafts. Hello, everyone. We'll be sewing while lurking. That's okay. And Tina, welcome to the chat tonight. It's good to see you. Mennonite, she's telling you, smash that thumbs up button. We're going to be talking about some tech stuff behind the scenes as well tonight. Gay, hello and welcome. Debbie's in the house. I hope you're feeling better, sweetheart. Zaza, hi, girlfriend. So glad you could make it. Let me see. I hope everyone is doing better. Day by day, my friends. Absolutely. I know there's been a lot of crud going around, so I'm praying you all stay safe in this mess. Hello from Maine, my quilty friends. Hello, Brenda. Sean, the guy who sews, is in the house. Hey, Sean. Hey, Teresa Louise. Welcome, welcome. Teresa Louise will be coming on my channel very, very soon. And you have to stay tuned for details on that as well. I'm waiting to hear back from Sean. I'd like to get him back over here for a little sit and chat too. Terry, hello, hello. Don't blame you, Teresa Louise, for all the snow you've had. Teresa says she's going to go to sleep. Go to sleep, Teresa. Nanette, hello, hello. Welcome. Let me see. Brenda Foley, Jane Billings, Rose. Hello, hello. It's good to see you all. Kim, hello and welcome. Kathy, Amy C, and now I get to pass away the torch to the husband. So anyway, you ready for some fun tonight? It's been a while
Absolutely.
since I've had I've been doing my interviews back and things like that, but tonight it's just going to be really laid back if you don't care. Just two friends talking. It makes it so much easier. So let me do this. Hi, Tasha Quilts. Welcome. So blessed by Jess is also in the house. Tasha, I sent you an email. I'm waiting to hear back from you as well, sweetie. So anyway, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Where you were born, where you were raised, where you grew up? Give me a little
Well,
bit of history about you.
I'm from South Central Pennsylvania, and I've been there all my life. I grew up on a farm of t 200 acres, and my parents milked no more than 40 cows and made a living off of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I went to college, got a 4-year degree, and now I'm married to a Mennonite dairy farmer.
You can't beat that, right?
If you would have told me 20 years ago this would be my life, I would have laughed in your face.
In your younger days, you were probably like, I don't know about that.
No, I had inspiration of going and becoming a school teacher.
I was going to ask you, what was your degree in?
It wasn't in education, but I have a degree in speech communication with applied concentration in human communication. And I have some credits in sociology as well.
Oh, cool. So I got a smart chick here tonight.
I just have a paper saying I can pass tests and stay and come to class on time.
Oh, you can't beat that then. So whatever got you, does like anybody in your immediate family, like mom, aunts, sisters, anybody? How did you get interested into quilting?
And the quilting,
Mm,
well, my mom's stepmother was a quilter, and I have a baby quilt. Actually, I should have brought it here, but it's hand quilted and it's fruit baskets in four different corners. And
mhm.
I just would play with it as a little girl, and I would just admire it. Then, and we had a strange relationship. I hardly ever got to spend time with her.
Oh,
I know, and yeah. But anyway, we moved forward, and I just always like quilts. My mom, you, she'd say she's a mender. She's not a sewer at all.
is that what your mom says?
She's a mender. Don't ask her to. In fact, she made a quilt right before she got married, and she didn't even finish it. It was the top wasn't even finished yet, but one of my brother's um employees' wives tried to work on it. Oh, she did a disastrous job. She tried to sew buttons on top of stains and instead of washing it. So
Oh, holy
after
cow.
be so after a year into sewing, I finally took it over and finished it for her and actually quilted it. So it's
Oh,
never too late to finish a quilt. 54 years in the making.
oh, that's so cool, though. That's a really good story about it.
Uh-huh. And she can't remember sewing it. She can't even tell you who helped her with it. And
Oh,
it's hand pieced. It's a bandwagon block, if that's a term. That's what people tell me. But
right.
sprocket.
That is so cool.
So where were we going with this story? But other than that, I just always admired quilts. And but I
Did you
always
go to like quilt shows and things like that before you ever started sewing, or you just,
I just I just my husband, while we were dating, bought me a baby lock sewing machine so I could make my own dresses. And I think they were having a beginner quilt class, and I said, "Honey, can I come to this?" And in my first year, I think I made 12 quilts. I mean, granted, the first one was a table runner, but after that, I made like 13 quilts my first year, and then I got into YouTube.
oh, you can't beat that though. YouTube's a good place. It really is a good place. I graduated university, I'd say, and I'm still learning all the time. So if I wanted to know
Mm-hmm.
something, I think I'm like everyone else. We all just, okay, let me YouTube it, and that's how we find our way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, your first machine was Baby Lock, and let me see,
Mm-hmm.
do you own a long arm?
Yes, I have a Handy Quilter 16, and my husband bought it for my 40th birthday. And
Oh,
I was
sweet.
only into quilting 3 months before he said, "Hey, you want to buy a long arm?"
Oh, he had high expectations.
Well, his mom's into a lot of crafts, a lot. She does leather working, she does quilts, she the garment sews. The list goes on. Woodworking. Yeah, you should see the treadle sewing machine table she refurbished for me for Christmas present this past year.
Oh,
Like it's beautiful. I don't even know why I haven't showed it to you yet. But anyhow, so he's with that mindset of doing lots of crafts and trades work. So
right.
so that's why I think he jumped on the gun and said, "Hey, there's a handy quilter sewing machine or a long arm down in Chantilly, Virginia." And
Oh,
my mother-in-law went down with me. We put it in the back of her truck and drove it home.
oh, wow. And you had never long arms?
No, I never,
Wow.
I hardly even quilted before we brought it home.
Now, did you garment sew before, like before you married him?
Well, I was learning to make dresses, and making this dress is not an easy task. You have to learn how to put two fab pieces of fabric together to make the bodice with the cape and the sleeves and the invisible zipper in the back and the pockets. It's I'm still learning after what, 14 years?
Right. And every time you make one, it's probably like you tweak it a little bit more towards what you want.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather quilt than make dresses. But, there's a fine balance there because, I can't go naked.
Right. You must, I don't know, a quilt dress? Hmm.
Mm, I've thought about it already.
I have too. So, whatever got you, I've got your story now on your dive into quilting, kind of like it spiraled into a good way, into a good way.
I think so, yes.
Yeah. Do you like when you're quilting, are you automated or is yours like ruler work, pantograph,
Mine's
free
groovy board.
motion?
Groovy boards.
What is it?
Groovy boards.
What's that?
It's a pattern board that you lay on the back end and you have a
Oh, okay. I do pantographs. That's same thing, different wordage. That's why I was like, oh, that's cool.
mm-hmm. So that's what mainly I do. I've tried ruler work, but I think my table isn't level enough because there's
Right.
one spot in the center of my quilts that it just goes off track and I can't get it to go straight.
It happens.
So
Yeah.
it's like a new table because it's the original Handy Quilter table.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Where I got mine from, and you know where.
Hmm.
He came up and he showed me how to tell if mine's level. And you just take your finger like this and give it a little tight. And if it moves on its own, you're not level.
Hmm.
And make sure it go like this. And if you push your machine real slow down, you're going to see where that catch is. It could even be just a little bit of fabric, batting, or anything. It'll throw you off.
Yeah, our house is over 120 years old. Yeah, it's at least 120 years old. And when I brought the long arm home, we had not even put the floor in the front bedroom, and we had to tear out a wall to put the long arm in that room. And so he had to make sure that good thing we didn't have any flooring down because he would have had to rip it out. So
Oh, holy
he
goodness.
tore up the subfloor, then put shingles down to make sure it was all level. Then we
Right.
went and got hardwood floors. So that's how,
Yeah, it might be off a little, but
right.
it makes sense. It makes sense. So your husband's name's Howard. You
Hmm.
live on a farm. What part of I went to word this. Are you Pennsylvania, Maryland, or Virginia?
I'm 10 minutes from the Mason-Dixon line.
So that's not bad. You're right in the loop there to where you can get to anything in a timely fashion.
Hmm.
Do you
I
have
can,
good quilt shops where you live, or do you like do Hobby Lobby? Joann's is going out, so
it's about 40 to 45 minutes for any quilt shop.
if you had to come into, say, Hagerstown versus Lancaster, which would it be?
Well, it's Lancaster for sure.
Hey,
Because
man,
because there's
what's
only
your favorite store there? Do you have a favorite?
I think I haven't been to too many. I've been to the old country store and I love that. I've been to Zink's, Nancy's Notions I've been to.
Thinks is cool too. Yeah.
Hmm. They have some good deals, especially when you buy the whole bolt.
Yeah.
Like
They
$3.
like that too.
Well, who doesn't? But anyway, yeah, I haven't been to I would like to go to Burkholder's because their online store is amazing.
Oh, I didn't realize they were online too.
Uh-huh. Especially with the holiday coupons they have.
Mm,
I'm sorry,
I have
Joe.
to be checking that out. Log Cabin Quilt Shop is Tina's favorite in Lancaster.
Mhm. She goes to Lancaster a lot.
Does she?
Hmm.
That she's gonna have to meet up with us there in Lancaster.
She's
That would be
been
fun.
saying, "Hey, let's go."
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, that would be a fun road trip.
Hmm.
Let me see. You said your husband is farmer.
Hmm.
What kind of farming? There's so many different kinds.
Well,
Is it like produce? Is it like cattle? Is it chickens? What kind of farming do you do?
we milk about 100. Holsteins and Jerseys, mostly Jerseys, and we have robots, two of them that milk them, so they get milked 24/7 whenever they want. And then we turn around and maybe farm 900 acres, and we do a lot of hay and grain and corn and soybeans.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So your cows are trained to walk up on a milker and just anytime they know they need relieved?
Well, the robots have pellets in it, and it tastes like candy, like molasses. So
Oh, it
they'll,
attracts them?
mhm. And the colors have are programmed. If they go in more than three times and within a 24-hour period, they'll just let them go through. They won't be over milked.
Oh,
Because I'll watch.
technology. I'm telling you, I'd have never thought of that.
And then when they get into the box where the robot arm comes in, it will weigh them, and the robot will automatically know how much feed to give it based on their part of where they are in the lactation system and how heavy they are, and knows exactly how much to give them.
So they're strictly just milk cows, not for dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know the first thing. That's why I was asking. That is neat to me. I'm just like, who knew? I didn't know such a thing existed. So I'm learning something new too. When I was a girl, I used to have to milk the cows
Mm-hmm. Yep.
times. Mm. And you
Yeah.
said your parents had like 50,
We had no more than 48 milking at a time.
and that was hand milking, or did you just have to?
We had a Sanchin barn where we had four milkers that you plug in the milker to the air
Right.
line, and then yeah, that would take
Now,
you would
do
have
you
to bend
guys
over
sell
and
your milk to someplace, or is
it
that
gets
all for use?
it gets picked up by Dairy Farmers of America.
Oh, that's cool. And then it gets processed that way.
Cheese and milk and all kinds of stuff.
Now, speaking of cheese and milks and all kinds of stuff, let's take it back to you started a YouTube channel. How long have you had your channel now?
Since June of 2021.
And what got you into the idea of, hey, I'm bored. I
Because
have
I have
nothing
so much
else
to
to
do,
do but
right?
help run a farm, right?
Like, yeah, I have nothing better to do than just be making videos. Um,
Right.
I've been watching The Needy Homesteader,
Hmm.
and somehow I got into moderating her sourdough club on Facebook, and somehow went after her major car accident, she was asking
Right. That
creators
was
to make videos. Somehow she asked me, and I wasn't even a creator, and I was just like, all right, I'll just make a video, which took me two takes and a whole month to figure out how. I didn't even know how to edit or anything. And
I still don't.
I was
So
I shot this video in 640, which I don't know if you know what that even
I
means.
have no idea. You're talking dirty.
Well, let's just say it doesn't even fill up the whole screen when you look at it on YouTube. But anyway, so I got it uploaded, and I didn't even know how to do a thumbnail, but somebody helped me with the thumbnail for her channel, and the video it has 11,000 views. So I said in that video, if you like what you see, let me know, and maybe I'll start a channel. And people were like, "This is your first video?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I made another one. And I was just like, well, it'll be great for me to be able to document how I cook for my nephews and my nieces who don't even know how to cook because their mothers are terrible at cooking.
Welcome to my world. Are they my family?
No. So that I would just wanted to make a or start a legacy, and I thought if I could earn money from my YouTube channel, maybe I'll be able to make quilts for veterans or for the community. And that's
Right. And give back.
yes, because I like paying it forward. So that's the whole premise of why I started YouTube, because Heather the Needy Homesteader pushed me to. She said anybody can make a video. So now,
True.
and now we're friends.
Oh, that's cool. So
So
that's cute how you got started. So you segued what? Let me see. You said you did a cooking video first.
I made
Have
how
you done any of your quilting, like your hand stitching or
I've done videos where I've tore our quilt show with my quilt
mm,
club that I'm a member of, and then I did a video where at one of the retreats we have down in West Virginia, I went around the room and showed what people were working on. That video did very well for my channel at that point. Um, then I'll do little reels here or there of me long arming, but I haven't done a full length video on quilting yet. I
yeah,
want to, but I just, yeah,
there's
it,
only so many hours in a day.
it overwhelms me. But I'm like, if I get out of the kitchen, maybe I wouldn't be so heavy.
Right. Let, let's bring you to the sewing room. But you're a good cook. Everybody says. So I just noticed Donna was in the house. If you guys could please keep her in your prayers tomorrow. It's going to be a heavy day for her. And just keep her and your family in your prayers tomorrow. So back to you, girlfriend. Who is your favorite fabric designer? Do you have one?
I li- I like Deb Staines and Corey Yoder and Three Sisters. If I've only seen two or three of their collections, but they're pretty.
Right. Do you ever buy from the brothers?
Never
So
heard of
yeah.
them.
Yes, so yeah. You've never heard of them on the YouTube?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a dirty little secret. Write this down.
I'll watch it on
And
the
you
replay.
cannot tell your husband that I gave you this information.
I'd be like, I don't
Write,
know.
write down SEWYEAH. They go live a lot right now, but at holidays, every time you turn around, they're going to go live. But they do big fabric sales.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a de-stash night and a new stash night. And it ships to the house and you can hide it and you don't even have to leave home.
Mm-hmm.
You want to check it out. No, I'm not. Joe's saying I'm going to get you in trouble.
I'm making money on YouTube.
You're right. You can spend it, right?
I can spend my own money.
Right. He's like, shh, don't tell her. That's our secret now.
And I'm paying it forward. Like I just sent a
You
quilt to
make them and give them.
yeah, I gave one to my friends. It's just started chemo for it's coming back, and she was over the moon to get it.
Oh, I think that's pretty cool. So let's head out of the sewing room for a minute and head to the kitchen. What kind of dishes do you prefer to do? I've watched your channel since we met and I've
Hmm.
went back into the hands of time. I've seen everything from bread to you name it.
Hmm.
So give me a day in the life of LeAnne in the kitchen. Like, do you prefer breakfast things? Do you like to do dinner things? Do you prefer the canning aspect? What is your favorite part, or is it overall just the creation and Howard likes to eat it?
Well, Howard gets up early for me, and I don't actually wake up with him because some days it's 5:30, some days it's 6:30, and
Right.
I just like to sleep in because I go to bed later. So he'll get a glass of milk with Hershey's chocolate syrup. That's his breakfast. That's all he'll have until lunch. And sometimes
He
lunch
may have did that his whole life.
he probably has, and I'm thankful for it because I don't think I could cook in the morning. He does not like uh, food in his stomach while he's working hard.
Right. And it makes sense.
Hmm. He's working very hard.
Right.
Who wants to feel like a stuffed turkey every day?
I
Well,
don't know. I don't know. Wait till you come to my retreat. We're gonna find out.
I guess so.
Most of us sit back and go, "Oh my gosh, why did I do that to myself?"
So some days lunch is 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was 3
Right.
o'clock a couple times this week. I
So
don't know
being a
how
farmer's wife, does he like call you and say I'm heading in from the
he,
farm
he'll
from
he'll text
wherever?
me. Well, he used to text me. No, lunch he will say I'm being soon, which means either 5 minutes, half hour, an hour, or sometimes 3 hours. If something happens and he can't come in. And when it's like an hour and a half, I
And
usually
how do you cook for someone like that?
it's hard.
Do you have
It's a challenge.
microwave? So if it's done, he can microwave.
Do you know how often I use my microwave?
Nope.
Less than once a month.
Oh, I use mine, what, two or three times a day?
I
I live.
usually I usually heat stuff up in the oven. He just thinks it tastes better, and his mom's never had a microwave. So he don't even know how to use the microwave.
That's okay though. Like time to go wash his hands. Beep beep. See, it's
So
done.
so for the best part for me is canning because you can just heat it up in less than 5 minutes or 10 minutes and it's ready for him at any time.
Right.
So that's why I like sticking to canning because it's quick and easy. I don't have to wait for anything to thaw out or anything.
Now, like, do you do ever do freeze packing?
I hardly
Or they
ever
call that like
freezer meals.
it's freezer meals. Do you ever do any of that?
Once in a blue moon, I'll make something, twice as much and put it in the freezer. Like
Is that
some
like casseroles, lasagnas, stuff like
mhm,
that?
mhm. Once in a
Mm,
blue moon, I'll do it, but it comes in handy once in a while. But yeah, I'm just so used to making it fresh because I'm in the kitchen a lot.
right. I like the idea of the canning of the soups. Now, let me ask you this. Like when you're doing your soup canning, say I make a big pot of chili.
Hmm.
How would I walk me through what I would have to do to
Well,
can the chili?
the canned chili, you have to use a tested recipe, like in the Ball Book or the National Center for Food
Mm,
and Preservation. And when you can soups, it can't be fully cooked because you're going to be cooking it 90 minutes on this in the canner to begin with. So you have to follow those recipes and you have to make sure your hamburger's partially cooked and your beans are if you use dried beans, gotta make sure they're fully cooked before you put them in the jar.
yeah, I opened one can to the pot.
So yeah, you just have to follow a safe canning recipe. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
just so
my mom used the Bob cookbook when we were kids. She lived by it.
hmm yeah, I when I make chili, I just use all my canned ingredients, like my tomatoes. I know you can't say tomato around Donna, but anyway,
It's okay. I just prefer not.
I'm just like, why is she asking me about tomatoes when her chili? She can't eat them.
I do chicken chili for me. Joe gets the good stuff.
Uh-huh. I should figure out how to can chili chicken, white chili
Yeah,
chicken,
it's white bean. Mm,
and green peppers.
yeah,
But
I
yeah,
could live on beans, as you can tell. I love them. So let me see. Bread recipes. Do you grind your own flour? I'm taking you way back into the 18th century. Like, do you grind it all or do you buy it?
I've tried to, and I have a food mill, but and I've even ground our own wheat that we grow on the farm. But I haven't crossed to where I got good at it. And maybe this year that's one of my goals is to be able to find a good recipe to use fresh milled flour in.
Right. Now, what's your take on farm to table? Or I noticed since Joe and I have switched from just buying our meat wherever we shop
Hmm.
to going back to the butcher that we choose. And we've been probably 6 months to a year now using the butcher. We're noticing health wise things are improving. Just getting that processed stuff out of our systems.
Like
So,
it's a world of difference. Farm to table is the only way to go. Like knowing where my foods come from is priceless. Like,
right. And you're in charge of what you put in that jar or in that bag or in your pot, you know?
hmm And after you've been eating home cooked food from scratch for 3 or 4 years, and then you go out to a restaurant or processed food, that processed food is going to taste terribly salty. Like your taste buds will change
Right.
for the better.
Yeah. Joe would tell, he would tell anybody, I'm normally the one that goes like, "This- I don't even have to taste it. It's habit."
Mm-hmm.
with the salt, but now I don't. Yeah. Frank, I love that you call the ball book the Bible. It is. It really is. But not like the Bible, but it's the kitchen one. We
Yeah.
all have our own. But yeah, that's the way to go. You have to follow the directions. It's kind of like anything. You follow the directions, it'll turn
Mhm.
out fine. Now, have you ever canned anything that was just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to slop the hogs?
That was terrible.
That was just it didn't turn out like you thought it would. Or you just couldn't eat it. You couldn't even doctor it. I've seen a few other people that have tried canning stuff, and it's like it wasn't that it was bad, like they canned bad. It was that it wasn't what they thought it would be.
The only thing I would really, truly never, ever can again is bell peppers.
They
Like,
get mushy, don't they?
yes. And just because you can them doesn't mean this gonna be
You
what
should.
yeah. I tried to dehydrate them, and I don't even know what I think I turned into a powder. Then I don't think I dried it properly, and it turned moldy. So I'm just like, we had 70 pepper plants our first year of marriage.
Oh wow.
We started them from seed, of course.
Right.
So I was just trying to think of ways to use them up, and my mother-in-law's like, "Hey, why don't you pressure can them?" Then when I opened the jar, I'm just like, "How do I even use them?" So
Right.
no, it's either dehydrating them or
I
freezing
chop them
them.
and freeze them.
Yeah, I'm learning that because I say the freezer is high-end real estate because when we get a steer butchered in freezer camp or we're getting a pig soon, like I don't have room for that kind of stuff.
Right. And it makes sense. Now, how do you store yours? Do you have a separate room, like a pantry in your house? Do you have a cold area, like in
I
your
ha
basement?
I have a basement that has a dirt floor since it's from built in the,
That's
early
how my mom's house was, and so was my Graham's. And when they went down in, and you had to wash the jar when you brought it out,
and
the
my
dust
husband
and
built
things.
me some very nice heavy duty shelves to hold my jars.
Now, if you had to estimate how much canning's down there. Now, when you put something down, like let me give you an example. Say you're canning tomatoes, my favorite thing of all, And how I want to say this. Do you rotate your stock like we do our canned goods?
Mm-hmm. First in, first out. Yes.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people just like when I'm watching them put theirs away after they've been canned, they just put it right on the fronts. And I'm
Mm.
like, how are you rotating? Unless it's just for the camera?
Nope. I put a date on it. Make sure I use the oldest date first, since I
Right.
worked in restaurants half my life. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really hard, a bit expensive to get into canning at first, but well worth it. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I highly
Yeah.
encourage anybody. I think everybody should learn how to at least pressure can chicken and green beans. I think if everybody did that, I think they'll be far better off. Because that
Chicken.
chicken.
You're killing my chicken. You can only do chicken in a crock pot and have it turn out.
Have you tried pressure can chicken?
No. I cook in the crock pot, LeAnne. And sometimes it's still not cooked, and Joe has to throw it in the oven because when he goes to cut it, mm, he's like, it's not supposed to be bleeding. So he goes, it's still clocking. Yeah.
But
I
to have pressure can chicken on hand is like a godsend most days because you can whip up chicken salad in 10 minutes and let it sit all day and get good. You can throw it into salads and soups really quickly. It's like instant meal for me.
Oh, you can't beat that then. So, uh, uh, ugly chicken is the best chicken.
Ugly chicken just means it's raw packed.
Yeah.
But I prefer mine hot packed because I just like
What's the difference between raw packed and ugly chicken? Tell me the difference.
when you hot pack it, it's been cooked two-thirds of the way through, and you get more pieces in the jar. And with raw pack, you just shove it in, no broth or anything. And when you go to open it, I think the raw pack, all the juices that or the I don't know, it just seems like there's more stuff sticking to the sides of the jar that when it comes out. But with hot pack, all that stuff that I don't know, looks yucky to me is not in the jar. It actually just looks like chicken with
Oh
broth.
my God, I'm gonna puke. This sounds really bad. You're killing my chicken, man.
I'm telling you,
Which
you
way
have,
would you, if, like, say you were going to teach me how to do it, you would tell me to put raw chicken in a jar. That would be the best for,
it's the
or do you say
quickest,
for
but
that?
I think baking it in the oven for like 20 minutes, then sticking it in the jar and pouring boiling water over it, it
That's
tastes
the
a lot
way to
better.
go?
That's my preference. But I'm sure there's other people out there who's
No,
like, no,
I thought you were trying to tell me I have to cut up a chicken and throw it in a jar,
you have to
raw.
you have to cut them in 2-inch pieces.
I have to touch a raw chicken.
You can wear gloves.
You, you wait till you see how I do a turkey at retreat.
Oh
Man, I'm pulling the
no.
rubber. I have the dish gloves up to here, man. I'm going in deep. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm food si-
Joe's like, you need to have y'all need to hang out. She'll teach you how to cook.
from being in restaurants, I'm food safety certified, so I know, all those rules about, cooking your chicken to 165 and your beef to 150 and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Did you see what Heather, you're killing me. She goes, as long as she didn't literally strangle it, I think you're okay. No, I watched these some of these YouTubers and you see where they slice and hang them in the cone thing and
Uh-huh.
they drip and then they grab them by the feet and dip them and then they throw them in this spinner and hose them with the garden hose and then they throw them
Hmm.
on the table and they
Yeah,
take all the innards out.
I don't think I could do that.
Now, I wanted to raise chickens and Joe said no because I would probably name them.
Hmm.
No, 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 no.
I named my and the last one I named Oreo.
I can see that. I really could see that. Um, let me see. So, favorite bread recipe.
I think it's my sandwich bread recipe on my channel, but this sub roll recipe I'm working on right now to go live, it's pretty good too.
Yeah, so I'm going to push everybody over to watch that too. I think that's going to be interesting. I've this year gotten into making bread because when the doctor says cut out the chemicals, I'm
Hmm.
trying. We're really, really trying. Like I can throw steaks on the what is that? The iron thing, the cast iron skillet, and I
Hmm.
don't burn them now. So we're making headway. But the poor man for 30 years has been on soup. Sometimes he gets a good meal. LOL, Donna. I have an adverse and aversion to the feel of raw chicken and turkey. Gloves all the way. I had a hard time getting my head wrapped around putting my hand. They will have to tell you about the turkey excursion. I'm telling you, it was something else.
Hmm.
Yeah. Can you remember the first time you had to clean one out?
The chicken or the turkey
But
or
either.
I think there's been a few times where I didn't know the gizzards were in the bird before I baked it.
Yeah, I made Joe a beautiful turkey dinner one time, and we had to like throw it away. I didn't know there was stuff up inside of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. He's standing there praising me, telling me how good this meal looked. I worked really hard on it. He cut into that and he goes, with a big spoon, he was going to reach in and get stuffing out of the middle. What do you call it? Stop it. It's not funny. He's still laughing. He goes like this and pulls out, and there's nothing but plastic dripping.
Uh,
He goes, kids, don't eat. Drop your forks. He went for pizza. Yeah.
so the pizza shop knows his number really good.
Chinese pizza. Yeah. If we call in, they have my number. Yeah. We do a lot, but we're learning to segue. So let me see. Favorite is your meat you said to pack to can.
Well, yeah, that's probably the
And the
easiest.
soups. I've watched you do the soups.
Mm-hmm. Like I think there's a lot
Now, why is it you can't, when you're canning, you can't can anything with cream?
because dairy is something you shouldn't be canning.
I didn't know. I just saw that, you know
Hmm.
what I mean, on one of the channels, and I was like,
You can't can dairy or oils or flour or rice or pastas when yeah the unless it's in a specified any recipe to saute your onions and butter, that's the only time you can do it. Like
I never knew that.
green bean salad has oil in it, but that's those are very few recipes that have those ingredients in. Like
Oh, okay.
you can't can corned beef by itself because it's a cured meat, and
Really?
it takes more of a temperature to penetrate cured meats than it is a raw meat. So
Now,
that,
have you ever done like jerkies and stuff like that?
yeah, that's something I would like to get into.
I think that would be fun to learn. Let's learn that one together.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't made jerky and I have all the beef in the world.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I heard if you slice it really thin and marinate it, and
Mhm.
then I don't know if you do it in a smoker, you do it in the oven, you do it in an air fryer. I don't know.
I have an Excalibur dehydrator.
That would be fun to do.
I would like to get a smoker, but husband thinks we don't need it.
Yeah. He doesn't want you out there in the cold.
I exactly. He's like, how many
Good
days
husband.
out of the year are we gonna have good weather for us to use it? That's his point.
True. But boy, it tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Because I would like to smoke a turkey.
So let me see. What is your number one hit YouTube video? You would say kind of not, it went viral for you, but not viral.
Well, my best viewed video is my beef and cheese Amish casserole.
Now, what all's in that?
It's bow tie, some egg noodles and beef and tomato sauce and cream cheese and bell peppers and onions.
It sounds delightful.
Yeah, so you
It
can't.
really does.
My homegrown tomato sauce. Yeah.
Joe's like sitting here giggling. I'm going to get you tomatoes. He starts laughing.
We have a big
Now, have
garden.
you heard of if you slice a tomato, you can start it
Yeah,
that way? Do
I've
you do that?
no, because when we use our heirloom tomatoes and use the seeds from one year to the next to grow the next crop.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I'll take the seeds out and dry them out. Then in a few weeks here, we'll be putting them in our soil and
Right.
we've raised. I don't know how we always try to reduce what we had the from the year before because we always seem to have like 54 tomato plants and not enough cages.
Oh, wow.
So I can everything imaginable with tomatoes, like salsa, tomato soup, just plain tomato sauce, pizza sauce. I have enough pizza sauce for a pizza for every week of the year, and spaghetti sauce and sloppy Joe starter that has tomato sauce in it. And I'm probably forgetting something.
Oh,
But
okay.
like I use a lot of
Now,
things.
do you like to make do you make your own butter? Do you
I have a butter miser, but I don't know. I haven't made butter in a while. I have to save cream to do it. But yeah, I can make my own butter and my own bread
How,
and my own
walk
jam.
me through the process of what that would be. Like,
You have
do
to
you
have,
get to keep some of your own milk from your farm, or do you?
yeah, our milk naturally when it's raw, the cream rises to the top. And what I have to do is just take a ladle and skim off the cream. And then when you have like a quart and a half, you have to let it come to a temperature between 65 and like 72. Then
Mhm.
you can put it in the turn, and my turn has a motor on it. And when you plug it in, it will take about 40 minutes for the cream to separate from the milk. And that's how you get your butter. Then you have to
Yeah,
make sure
I've seen some people doing it nowadays in the food processor. I've saw them do it in butter in a jar. I've saw them use half and half, or not half and half, the heavy whipping cream.
if you use it in your or try to make it with your food processor or your KitchenAid mixer, you can do that for some time, but those machines are not going to keep up and you're going to wear them out. So if anybody is really serious about making butter, I would buy a butter miser and it will take you 43. Yeah, I figured it out. It'll take me, if I made it 43 times, I would get my money's worth out of that butter turn.
But homemade butter is better for you.
hmm
That way you're controlling everything that goes in
It's
it.
it's one ingredient.
Hmm.
Two, if you put salt in it.
Right.
And if you put
Absolutely.
herbs in it, like
Can you
rosemary.
imagine? The sky's the limit.
Mm-hmm. Because
See,
how
you can get into making butter.
I've even roasted my own cherry tomatoes and put it into a compound butter
Oh, that would be cool.
and sliced it and froze it and then put it on my steaks.
Hmm. Yum. He's over here licking his lips. You're talking steak now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done that already.
Oh, absolute. Mm.
I've made yogurt. I That was my first video, is making yogurt in the Instant Pot.
Oh, wow. See, I didn't know you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
How long, how long does the butter last? Day says. Like your
Butter,
homemade butter. Like, can you make it and freeze it? Or is it just for the refrigerator?
if it's for the refrigerator, I don't think it will keep more than a week. But if you freeze it, it can last maybe 2 to 3 months top.
That's good.
So somebody needs to remind me a month before the retreat to make butter.
Yeah, you need to make a lot of butter. And I would do like, I'll even come down and help. How's that? And I'll bring some back this way. The
I don't know
flavored
how to make
butter.
Amish butter. I don't know how they make it so yellow.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's because they feed it hay and no corn or like the
See,
way that.
different YouTubers I've seen, some of them have that white butter and it
hmm
looks yummy. Then some of them have that golden yellow.
It's all of what you feed your cow.
Right. It has to be.
Like
Now,
the
if you tell me you're giving me green butter, I'm out of here.
I don't even know what cream butter cream butter is.
Let me see. Sloppy Joes, you can do sloppy Joes. Um, it is what they graze on in the spring and in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
That that tells what the difference is, I guess. I'm learning a lot tonight. Joe's sitting here taking notes. He's like, this is a good idea. Yeah, I think that's cool. So, in today's world that we live in today, what would you recommend? Say someone wants to get into, it's a family of two like us,
Mm-hmm.
like you and Howard. What would you say they need to start off with, like their canning stuff? They don't need to go buy like 500 jars and go in debt like
Like,
that. What would their basic be to see if they even want to stick with it? Or should they like maybe buy second hands?
yeah, I buy my jars either secondhand or people are willing to give them to you if they're an older couple and they don't need them anymore. I mean, that's where a lot of my jars come from is people downsizing or their parents died and they're like, "Hey, oh, you can?" Yeah. That's how I
Right.
get most of my jars. You don't have to spend that much money. Granted, You can go to Facebook Marketplace. I know some people, well, I'm just getting started. I don't even know if the canner is going to work. Most of the
Right,
canners out there probably have never been used because somebody's scared to death to use it.
right,
To think about it. I mean, don't get something that's really old and dinosaur if you don't know what you're doing. But most of those canners that are on Facebook Marketplace haven't been touched, if you're lucky.
right. Now, Donna, Heather asked the question, have you shown how to harvest seeds on your channel?
I
I
haven't.
missed it. That would be a good way to like take on your channel and tag my channel in it too.
Okay.
Like when you start to pot and get ready, because this year we're going to do a garden here as well. So I'm going to take people along for that circus.
Yeah, you just have to make sure your seeds are heirloom seeds. And my favorite tomatoes are from a guy up in Belleville. He just has an Amish man. He just gave me three of his tomatoes, and I just love how they peel and they're meaty potatoes, or yeah, potatoes, tomatoes. And yeah, and then the potatoes that we haven't used up this fall or winter, they're gonna go back out into the garden, and we don't even have to buy potato seed.
Now let me ask you a question. Do you plant your potatoes too?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Do you do the like the eyes grow and then you do the chop up in different ways? Now, when Howard plants, do you go out with him for that or does the farm crew?
No, it's just us two. He has a 3-point hitch plow in the back of our garden tractor, and he just makes a ditch, and then we after you divide your eyes, and then you let them sit for 24 hours to cure or something, then you throw them in. And
Oh, see.
my family's always planting them at Easter time. Don't know why that matters,
Oh,
but
wow. I remember when I was a kid growing up, mom and dad had an almanac farm,
farmers on.
Hagerstown Farmer's Almanac, Joe said. And they would study that puppy for when they farmed.
Hmm.
Well, for whatever they planted. I'm not saying they were farmers, whatever they planted.
Hmm.
Um, let me see. Pat Strawhouse says, I Googled it. Grass-fed cows produce yellow butter. It's the beta car carotene in the grass.
Hmm.
Had no clue. But all I know is butter is good for me.
Like Irish, what's there's a brand of Irish butter that's supposed to be really spendy, and
Mm.
it's supposed to be high end.
Teresa wants to know, do you like the Cherokee tomatoes?
Not really. My husband thinks they don't really have that much flavor.
Mm. Okay. Are you in Hagerstown, Donna? No, I am like 40 minutes from Hagerstown. Is that right, Joe? About 40? Joe says about an hour. My driving, about 45 minutes.
Tina, I'll tell you where she's at later.
LeAnne, when your barn burned down, how long did it take to rebuild a new one?
It burned down? No. We had a corn bin that burnt, but we just had to buy a new motor for it and put a new floor in, and that cost $20,000.
Ouch.
But we haven't had a barn burning down.
It's super yummy. Let me see. Kern Gold butter is Irish butter. Yes, me too. We have to make plans for you and me and Tina. That would be fun. Girls' Day.
Hmm.
Joe's sitting here chuckling. He goes, I can't imagine the mischief you guys will get into. It'll be fun. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up, honey, and I want to thank you. Is there anything you want my subscribers to know about you that we have not already covered? You and Howard's been married, what, almost, what'd you
It's
say, 15?
8.5. No, we've
You've,
dated.
no,
We've been together, as boyfriend and girlfriend for 15 years.
okay, that's where the 15 came from.
Hmm.
All right.
It took him six and
So,
a half years to propose.
and if you want to leave my subscribers with one fun fact about you, what would it be?
One fun fact, you put me on the spot. That I can touch my nose with my tongue without any help.
There you go. See?
That's fun.
That was cute. All right, sweetheart. Thanks for joining me. If you guys want to check out her channel, it's been spammed in the chat by Joe and Day. You guys take care. God bless. Have a fabulous weekend, and I'll be back here Sunday morning working on the jewel. So, bye bye, guys.